They did it. They did it. And I'm not waiting for anybody else. When people are coming in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. The Green Bay Packers. 13-3 again this year. For the second year in a row, 13-3. This time, that's good enough for the number 1 seed, not the number 2 seed, even though I prefer the number 2. Now I'm a fan of the number 1, and we will take it. Green Bay Packers win it over the Bears 35-16. Woo! Celebrate. Celebrate it. Browner, you're here. How you doing?
Hey, good. How are you? Number 1 seed.
Were you sweating a little, Brown?
Well, I just didn't like how that one MVS play kept it close. When you play like Bears and Vikings games, there's always a dumb play that like turns the game. And as Packer fans, you're like, oh, is this going to lead to a dumb onside kick or something like that? They couldn't stop. The reality is they couldn't stop Rodgers or any of those guys in reality. So
no, and also you had to believe that Matt Nagy and the Bears would outsmart themselves at some point, and of course they did.
Yeah.
On a 4th and a foot, they go with the rollout pass and instead of just plunging forward.
Or the 3 times prior, they just did a sneak for 2 yards.
Yeah, they get bored with that stuff. Like football coaches, I swear it. They get bored. They're like, let's do something different this 4th and 1. And then, okay, fine, we'll take that. But I will point out, Z and Sullivan played that play perfectly.
Perfect.
He did an awesome job at knocking down the guy in front of him to take him out of the pass pattern, and then pursuing the quarterback. And Sully undercuts the route. Beautiful play by the defense. So they played it well. I've got an interesting thing before anybody else gets in here, Brown. You know how there's all these people out there that talk about Aaron Rodgers has, only so many 4th quarter comebacks, right? Only so many, he's got less quarterbacks than this guy and this scrub quarterback and blah, 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 blah. Okay, I want to know how many single score 4th quarter drives Aaron Rodgers has in his career. I'd like to know that. So the Packers are ahead by it's a single score game, and they do a game clinching drive.
And he puts it away.
Right,
Yep.
Game separating drive. I'd like to know in the 4th quarter how many of those he has and stack him up against anybody else. I would take him in a heartbeat. So I can't do
that. Was the perfect methodical drive. They got Jones involved in cool ways. Yep.
Adams got his. Lazard got involved on that. They spread it around all day. They kind of spread it around a lot, which is nice. But they still managed to get Adams what he needed to get the, tie Sterling sharp. Also get the receptions record and the touchdown record. So that's nice for him.
Yep.
And if he can do it against the Bears, I mean, that's even better.
I didn't know I was kind of surprised when he dropped back the pass there. I didn't realize there was a record at stake. But
hey, they knew. I guess they were talking to people all week. I guess Johnston and Kevin, whatever his name was, the other announcer guy, can't remember now. But those 2 guys were talking about how the Packers didn't make any bones about it. They said, it was important. It'd be important to get Devontae those things. When you have a season like he's had, and you're that close, you don't know if that's ever going to happen again. So I'm all for going for records if it fits within, and it did certainly fit within. The one thing I'm going to say as Ben comes on is no negative thoughts this post-game show. All positives. We'll get into some of the things. Yeah, there were some things that didn't go right, and there were some issues. But all positives because the Packers did it. 13-3, number 1 seed, NFC North champs. And they get the week off. The only team gets the week off next week in their conference.
All positives, he said.
All positives, Ben. You can save your rips for Tuesday because tonight, it's celebration. Packers win it. 13-3.
Positives. All positives.
And I got an unsung hero award tonight as well.
Yep.
Tell you who that is. How you doing, Ben? Title Town, number 1 seed. Bye week.
Got lucky.
Oh.
All I know is the Bears went for it on 4th and 1 5 times, and they got it 4 times. And luckily, they didn't get it the last time because Jimmy.
We were just talking about that. They out-thunked themselves.
Yeah, they decided to do the rollout pass instead of plunging in the
They
head.
probably figured they're like, we can't possibly get another quarterback sneak or run up the gut for a first down against this Packer defense. Yes, you can. Just do it again, you dummies. We're just lucky the Bears are dumb.
But you knew that was going to come from Nagy. He always does that stuff.
I know.
He's like, oh, we can't. I'm bored of doing this stuff that works. Let me just jump here. We'll try this play instead. But Z did an awesome job in that play, and Sullivan obviously undercutting the route. And actually did a great job of dropping the interception because you don't need the interception right there. It's a good pass breakup. But Z, like, stoned his guy to the line of scrimmage, who could have leaked out in the flat as well and been another option. So those two guys played it well. But it's still a Nagy problem. Rico!
Yo,
Or do we call them Rico?
Suave. Hey, I'm celebrating. Go Pack, go. Go Pack, go.
I'm having a celebratory shot when Eckes gets here.
Woo!
Guess they coming on.
Eckes ain't coming on. He's driving.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's good. He's not drinking then. Or was
No,
he?
he's still
Well,
drinking.
I
He's
was
just
gonna-
not coming on.
There's no guarantees there. But
Well, hopefully he's in an unpopulated area driving then, at least, I guess. And there's no wildlife around.
they were in Eau Claire this weekend, and I think they watched the game here and are driving back right now.
Okay. All right. Maybe he's got someone else driving. Hey, I got great news. Not only did the Packers win, but I reached out to Corey Bayless / Kazik, who said he wasn't home at the moment. And then I found out why he wasn't home, because his mom, for the third time in the last couple weeks, is in Madison, had a chance to get a kidney transplant because she's needed one for a while. And this one is going to stick. The other two, she got turned away at the last minute saying, oh, it's not a match, or, oh, it's not going to work. This one, she's in Madison getting the transplant tomorrow between 7 and 8 a.m. So that is a huge win as well.
Oh, look, Heather's joining us.
Just good stuff. She's been waiting for that transplant for a while. Heather, how's it going? Oh, looks much nicer than the normal view over there at that house. Wonder what Bruce's beard is going to look like, Ben, by next October.
Can't see him. I'm on my phone. I only got the first 4 guys that show up on here.
Oh, okay.
Unless I
Right
hang on
to the
them.
right. Oh,
Right now it's a picture of Heather, so it's better than the normal. Heather and a lot of medals. Rick, are you hey, there's Bruce. Looks like he shaved.
oh
Hey,
he shaved it.
hey.
He shaved it.
So I had to.
What the crap?
I had to because I had to get a kiss from my wife. She wouldn't kiss me otherwise, so I had to.
Not good enough reason, Bruce.
He shaved
That's-
it at halftime, is what
That's
happened.
right. That's why they struggled. I blame it on
Yep,
you.
you went and shaved at halftime like a jerk and ruined
By the
everything.
way, I just want to say that Bakhtiar got injured before I shaved it, so that's not my fault.
Okay. I will also point out that the new sweatshirt is 2-0, you guys. The new sweatshirt's 2-0.
My new sweatshirt too, 2-0.
Keep wearing it. Let's do it.
I
Rick.
was drinking this during the game, if that counts.
Ooh,
Nice.
nice.
It's a Minnesota brewery, Utapils. They package their Kolsch in either green and gold and call it Golsch Pack Golsch. I've had
Nice.
that.
I was
But
drinking
they
the
also
Hui.
have purple and gold that they call Skolsch. I did not get that one.
I was drinking the Hui from Big Lake, Minnesota.
Good.
Yeah, it is good.
It's good beer.
really- yeah, it's good. Rick, so are you
Yes.
feeling a little better? I mean, I know the Raiders kind of flamed out, but are you at least able to celebrate with the Packers winning?
I am. Now I can, put my full support behind the Packers since I don't have to worry about the Raiders choking in the playoffs this year. And besides, the best news of all, I think, is that the Packers finally have snacks on board.
Yes.
It took them all season, but they finally got the snacks. So,
He-
now, granted, he wasn't a huge impact, but he's huge. And I think that will help them down the stretch.
He looked pretty good a couple times in there. He even got some penetration, got a field, beat some double teams. He was active the few times he was in there.
I'll give him that. I don't know why it didn't work out in Seattle, but it's good for the Packers, even just seeing spot duty, giving Kenny Clark a break once in a while, or can, bring in some beef for short yardage situations. I think it's a move in the right direction. And if it means that Za'Darius is no longer playing Z tackle, that's an even better situation. So,
And I think getting the number 1 seed helps him and the defense adjust to that, and the offensive line continue to work together. So I think that's a big win.
yeah. I know Eckes isn't here to defend his stance on that, but given that they got a few guys banged up and some changes on both sides of the ball, I think having that extra week to prepare might be a good thing, or at least not a bad thing.
I agree, especially with that adjustment. They're gonna need it. Nico! Whoa! How's it going, Nico?
Pretty good. We got the conference games.
Was there ever any doubt for you?
No,
Yes. I knew
not
it.
even a little bit.
I knew it.
I had a little shred when you texted me to come on after the win, and then they didn't score another point for like an hour.
Yes, that's what I.
But
I told him to delete the Zoom link until this is happening.
but other than you trying to jinx it, I was never scared.
There is no jinx. The Packers just needed to get their act together and take care of business, and they did.
If
They just
games
like
were
it
up
to-
to-
With
if
a little
games were up
help
to
from
21,
Nagy
they'd
and
be down.
friends.
They like it to be exciting in the fourth quarter. They don't want it to be too relaxed. You know that. That's their history.
Yeah,
their
I
history.
don't know if that's good.
Hey, the Zebras seem to be on the side of the Bears quite a bit of this game, missing some key calls, including a false start on a 4th and inches and some other business there. But whatever. Packers overcame. Packers did it. Aaron Jonesy got involved when they needed him to. Atta boy. And for some reason, they put Jamal Williams in there late. Dang it, Jonathan Taylor! No, why can't I have you this week? Play Mo in fantasy football and win. Oh well. Anyway. Hey, I'm keeping Jonathan Taylor next year in HFF, just so you guys all know. I'm glad I picked him up this year.
Nobody cares about that.
Hey, they do too. There's lots of people on here who know the Badgers. Anyway, 35-16 final. I'm going to go over a couple of quick things for you. Ben, did you like seeing Alan Lazard getting a couple? You liked that last drive, didn't you, Ben? Did you like it? Jones involved, Lazard involved, some Tay plays. Rodgers doing whatever it needs to be done. Oh, fine. Okay.
What I like better is if, when Aaron Jones gets 9 yards on first down, maybe on second and
No
one, I don't
negatives.
know, maybe run the freaking ball. Or how about 31? You run the freaking ball. But no, let's do stupid passes all the gosh dang time when you got a freaking huge lead. That makes a lot of freaking sense.
They had to bring in the other running back to get those short runs against those beefed up run looks.
And why is Jamal Williams in there? I don't know.
Because he doesn't fumble. He hasn't fumbled in his whole life.
He got lucky one time in that one run where he ran up somebody's butt and then nobody tackled him. So then he ran around and he got a bunch of yards. And
Dylan was only in like 2 plays, wasn't he, the whole time?
Saving him for the playoffs. Did you know that Jamal Williams has never fumbled in his entire life? Not in Pee Wee, not in high school, not at BYU.
Oh, he's jinxing again, just like the Zoom link.
That's a jinx. That's a jinx.
I just point out things that are facts. I just point out facts. That's it.
See, you love being a broadcaster so much that you want to be like, oh, this guy's never missed an extra point in the history of his life. And then he immediately misses the next extra point.
Hey, I don't know what's going on with Mason Crosby, but at least he made the extra points today. Has anybody missed 3 or 4 extra points in a season like him this year? It's so weird.
Kicker for the Vikings, apparently. They
Oh,
were
yes.
bragging on him today.
Yeah. Hey, Bernard's around. Bernard, #1 seed. Woo! Bernard likes it. What are we going to do next week? Going to have to watch some of these other teams to see if they're any good. If they're any good. Pressure's off.
Hafeman fantasy football.
The Hafeman bros get a bye, too.
It might.
Good. I need a buy.
That's true. Ben's tired of bagging on Rodgers. He needs a week off.
No, I'll do that.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure you will. All right. I'm going to give it to you. The unsung hero of today's game was Lucas Patrick.
He took care of Hicks.
He held his own against Hicks, and he pissed Hicks off because he kept
did.
blocking. He kept blocking kept going until the whistle, and then Hicks smashes him in the head, and there's no flag, of course. Which I
don't know what's
he
going
can
on with
smack
that.
dude in the head and get no flag, but he got in Hicks's head, and he stood him up. I saw 1-on-1 blocks from a man, Lukey. So Lukey gets benched last week after a rough game the week before. One rough game, then he gets benched. Comes in spot duty with some injuries last week, plays well, gets a start because of Bakhtiari going down. Otherwise, he probably wouldn't have been out there. And he plays against the toughest guy the Bears have, and he held his own all night long and pissed him off. So Lukey Patrick, unsung hero of the game. Here's to you, man.
Whoa.
Anybody else have some unsung heroes of the game?
Billy Turner.
Billy Turner could have been worse.
Yeah.
Yep, Billy Turner held his own really well.
You got to give him props, man. He took care of it.
Okay, we'll do a film review.
How
on
about
that.
Daphne?
Daffy, sure, got his first touchdown catch.
He had some big blocks on those Jones swing passes, and he's I don't know, he's pretty good. Good addition to that offensive weaponry.
He did well. We did find out that Bob Tunyon is not George Kittle though, because he's not that good after the catch. Dang it, I wish he was, but he is good at catching it. So that's something.
I watched George Kittle's highlights from last week, and I was like, wow, that's not Onion can't do all that with the ball in his hand. So, but yeah, he could catch. He's got great hands. We know that.
We need
He's
that.
got another dang touchdown today. So,
and
11 touchdowns.
He probably shouldn't be in the Pro Bowl though.
No, he should. He should be in the Pro Bowl. We all know that.
The Packers defense kept Jimmy Graham out of the end zone.
Oh,
Yeah,
tough task.
last play, Alexander at the last. that was
Tough
good.
task.
Alexander's another one that we should give props to. God, that kid's good.
Did you notice how the Bears just continuously passed the Kevin King side like the whole freaking game? They didn't even mess with Jair half the time.
Yeah, Robinson didn't have a catch forever, and then they lined him up on King's side, and then he got his first catch and like his first play over there. It's like, yeah, okay.
I know we're trying to keep it positive, but I think the Packers defense was listening to too much Rick Astley with "I'm never going to wrap you up, never going to bring you down."
Oh, Rick. So
It's a throwback to a couple of weeks ago.
that's nice. Very nice. Nicely done. I've been calling for it. I still couldn't get my man on the field, Ty Summers, but I think he could have done better on a number of plays.
Yeah, he needs to be out. I mean, that's
the thing
ridiculous.
That's the thing moving forward. We'll dig into that a little bit. We'll talk more about that. I think it's gonna at some point. It could cost him if he's not out there because he's faster than the guys they have. I saw Kamal Martin miss tackles, so it's not that, right?
Yep.
Like guys can miss. I thought Barnes missed tackles, so it's not that he missed tackles. So I'm still trying to figure out why he's not on the field. But I think regardless, maybe having a new linebackers coach would be a good idea in the future. But we'll see. Hopefully they still win the Super Bowl this year.
And a new defensive coach too.
That's probably the case. What do you think of Snacks, Bruce? He had some plays.
He was on the field.
Yes.
A couple times.
I never saw him. Really? Did he
Yes.
make tackle? I didn't know. I don't know.
He had a couple of big pushes in there where
Did he? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't think they'd
What's
play.
his number again?
98.
Yeah, 98.
Okay.
98.
You can't miss the guy. He's giant and
He is big.
I'll go look at the tape again, but I just know that Pettin didn't play 2-3 down linemen very often, and when he did, was
No. Not enough. But Gary was really good again. Gary's really come on. I'm impressed. I was as hard as anybody on that guy last year, especially with where they took him in the draft. And to me, he's their best outside linebacker. I know Z's in the Pro Bowl and all that, but he's their best outside linebacker.
I think you guys have talked about it several times this year already, but I think it's the hustle, it's persistence, it's not giving up on plays, not shutting it down if it looks like the ball's going away from you. He tends to follow plays through until the end, which a lot of those guys aren't, or at least haven't been doing to this point in the year. So,
Nico, you got an unsung hero?
I like Lazard.
Ooh.
He had some nice little catches there and his nice blocks and his all that. Yeah, I like seeing him on the field. I count on him catching the ball more than some of the other guys. I'd keep it positive, but yeah, he does the little things.
He makes those like tough catches with the balls on his back shoulder look really easy. He keeps them, he gets them right away, clean, and then keep them moving. So that's pretty good.
Think about balls on the back shoulder. Oh, sorry, Nico, go ahead.
I was just gonna say he had plenty of 6 to 7 yard catches for first downs, which are important.
Yeah,
Go back to your balls.
Lazard is the first down guy for sure.
Yeah.
But I was just gonna say that catch Devontae had where the ball was thrown like 3 yards behind him. That was freaking nuts. If he wouldn't have caught that, that would have been picked off, or the ball
Would
would
have been an interception. That would have been a huge step.
There's 3 Bears around there.
The Bears didn't want
And then
any
there's-
interceptions today, you guys.
Obviously,
Today
because
they were just dropping
Favre, I
them.
call him Favre. Rodgers threw him too already, and they didn't want it. I called him Favre by accident. I was just so used to. What's that? He threw the ball right to the Bears. I thought it was Favre out there.
He watched Favre for 3 years. He learned some stuff. He learned if you throw it in a tough spot, they usually don't catch it. So it's fine.
Like their hands.
That in the end zone.
You know what though? It was. I love watching. I like watching them spread around. They still got Devontae his stuff. Devontae had to make up because that block in the back play was just dumb. What are you doing, dude? You don't have that guy. No, his back is turned to you. You're taught, Rick. Tell us what you're taught in football? You see the back of the guy's numbers. What?
Don't hit him.
Yes. You don't block him. You do not have position to block the guy.
The guy was already out of position anyway. It didn't.
I know.
Yeah.
I know, but he
I
wants
guess
to do
it probably
his
wouldn't have
111.
mattered because even if Devontae had put his hands up and tried to stop, he still run over the top of the guy and he would have been flagged anyway. But the shove just kind of sealed the deal on that one.
I mean, it's Mercedes Lewis, right? I mean, he's going to get as many yards until somebody hits him the first time, then he's going to go down. So you're not springing like Jones for a touchdown run there. You're just making a positive play, good first down play. So that's one. Use your brain, use your melon on that one. Let's do it. I love this weather though. I'll say that if we can get this kind of weather in Green Bay in January, then I feel really good about how the Packers can perform. If it's going to be -10 with a wind chill lower than that, I'm a little concerned about some of the guys catching the ball, but that's for another night. MVS 50%. He'll catch 50% of them. MVS. He caught the first one. That was a big one. That was a big one. The first one was a big one.
No, well, his first catch was a big one. It was the first
That's what I
catch.
mean.
It was like
Yes.
it kind of started the play. And then his touchdown was a big, huge touchdown. It was awesome. And I don't why the Bears play zero coverage and leave a linebacker in MVS. I don't get it, but that's fine. We'll take it if you want to be dumb. I mean, nobody else is going to do that in the playoffs. I don't think it'd be that stupid, but
I don't know.
we'll take it. I mean, MVS is who he is. We all know who he is. He's a guy who we need because he opens up stuff for everybody else because of his breakaway speed. And if he can get over the top, half the time he's going to catch it. And that's what happened today. So, I mean, he gives us points. He gave us 7 points, and he took away 7 points today. And he kind of almost derailed the whole entire team there for a couple of drives. And then finally they kind of figured it out. So, I mean.
Did everybody get their unsung heroes in?
I didn't get mine.
Oh, who do you got?
Aaron Jones.
Sullivan.
Oh,
Shannon Sullivan had a great game, I think. Tackling, covering, playing around the line of scrimmage, reading running backs out of the backfield a couple times, helping out Kevin King when he can't tackle guys. So Shannon Sullivan's he only had like 3 tackles or something, but he was kind of all over the place, breaking stuff up. He should have had that pick, though. He should have taken it to the house.
But it was fourth down. That's fine.
Yeah, but it was 4th down and 1, which means where he knocked it down, they got the ball at the same exact spot. So if he would have picked it off, he probably would have had
4 picks on Trubisky. We dropped like 3 of them.
Yeah,
our safeties catch way better than our corners. I put that out there,
Yep,
but it's
that's
true.
true. They do.
Our safety, like Jair's not that good at catching either. He's dropped some, but King is. I want to tally. I got to go back because last year King dropped 5. He's at least dropped a few this year. I don't even know in his short career how many picks he's actually dropped. If he could catch, he'd be like Pro Bowl Kevin King 3 times over because you get in for picks, But he cannot catch. He's not that great at coverage, but he's one of our starting corners, so we'll go with that. We'll go with that. Hey, I got anybody else missing their unsung hero? Because I got an honorable mention. Savage. I know he didn't play that deep ball that great, but it was a tough one to kind of get back on. But he's tackling. He's running plays down. He's pursuing. There's one play where he got knocked down early and then still got up off the ground and made the tackle, was in on the tackle before anybody else got there. Like Darnell Savage, I don't know what's gotten into him, but he's playing way different than he has for the last, second half of last year and first half of this year. And I like it because they need it. So Darnell Savage, here's to you, buddy.
What did you guys think about how the offensive line held up, given the reshuffling and the fact that Billy Turner and Rick Wagner are your bookends? I mean, I thought, given what they were faced with, the Bears' defensive line is pretty good. They've got 2 less than awesome tackles. I thought overall they held up pretty well, all things considered. What are your guys' thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. I think they could have ran the ball a little better and maybe a little more, but at the same time, I think the Bears were playing like 7 men in the box a lot. It seemed like, at least that's what I saw a lot. So I guess maybe that's why we passed the ball so much more than I thought we might. But I thought they held up as well as they could have, considering.
Yeah, and even more so in those condensed formations, it looked, there's a lot of guys really close within the tackle box, basically, because you got receivers like right off, basically in a tight wing there, or right off the tight end or right off the tackle. So there were a lot of guys bunched in the middle. I think that's why they went with some more pass plays, other runs. But the Packers didn't have that many offensive plays. I mean, the Bears controlled the ball. They had the ball forever. A bunch of long drives, just kept chewing up clock. I mean, they only had 24 pass attempts, about 20 rush attempts. So pretty balanced there. But at the same time, yeah, you think they might run it a little bit more, but they weren't that successful with the run. So, I mean, that's fine. Hey, I would like to see a little more Dylan, but like I said, maybe they're kind of saving him up a little bit. That's fine. But good spread on the, 9 guys. Oh, no, sorry, 8 guys catching passes today. So Austin had one, Lewis had one, Daphne had one for a touchdown, Lazard had 2, Tunyon had 1 and a touchdown, Jones had 4, Adams with 6 and a touchdown, and Quez with 2 and a touchdown. Probably should have been 3 and 2 touchdowns, but that's neither here nor there. And so, spread it around.
It looked to me like the Bears were playing like man coverage or a shallow zone, and then they were crowding the line of scrimmage with a bunch of dudes and blitzing and doing all kinds of stuff because they knew the Packers were without Bakhtiari. So they dared them to go over the top. They dared him to try to pass. And Rodgers hit him twice. Just MVS decided not to catch the second one, right? But there's also good plays, and the play action boots worked wonderful today. There's a bunch of them. To Daphne, to Lazard a couple times, to Tunyon one time. There was like I think 3 or 4 of those were, maybe even 5 that were play action boot passes that got him first downs, and it all worked out in hand with the offensive line playing great and the Bears' aggression. If they're going to put that guys in that spot and bring them all together like that play action pass, that boot's going to leave you open and then run a guy all the way to the outside. They're not going to get there fast enough because they're playing, with only one corner covering the guy, and then the receiver takes him out of there, and boom, perfect. So the game plan was good. The Packers took care of what they had to as far as offense goes. They just kind of got a little wacky there for a while, and it happens every third quarter for some dumb reason where they just start getting pass happy, and I don't know. So, but other than that, I thought they handled it pretty dang well as far as play calls, moving the ball around. Like I said, I want to see more A.J. Dillon out there. I want to see more runs on 2nd and 1 and 3rd and 1. But, what are you going to do?
It just goes to show you, we need Lee's in the house. Lee, how you doing? Packers number 1 seed. 13-3 again. Lee and Bernard, we want your unsung heroes for today's game. So give us those if you can. Bernard hasn't given us his yet. Lee, give us yours. Unsung hero for today's game. While you think about that, I'm going to give you this. Something that struck me early in the game was there are a lot more empty sets than I would have thought when you got Bakhtiari out. And all of a sudden they just empty, and like Jones is split out and they got 5 guys out. And I'm like, what's going on here? But the Bears were blitzing a lot. And the Packers' counter to that was to spread them out and find a matchup that they could exploit. And that's how they got MVS on that matchup on a linebacker. That's how they got Devontae a couple of catches and some other things. And what the key was, Rodgers knew, because he had empties, he had free rushers coming, but he made the quick decision, was like, this is where the ball is going, it's gone, before the guy could get there. So they actually used, which I'm not a big fan of empty sets, and especially not when, your guys up front are a little bit shuffled and you're not all that solid on them. But they made it work today, and it had to be quick decision making, and the matchup had to work, and it did work, and they exploited the right ones. So I'll give them credit for that today too.
But to the Bears' credit, they did get pressure on Rodgers. I mean, I think he certainly felt more heat than he had most games this season, but didn't work out for him. They did create opportunities to create turnovers, they just couldn't follow through on them. But you can't finish the play, then you don't win, and that's what we saw. So,
I will tell you that Rodgers looked really good in the first half, but man, after MBS dropped that one, he was off. I mean, there was something going on there. He was throwing behind guys, and he should have thrown 2 or 3 picks. And he really, he was throwing it right to him. Like, I don't know what happened, but he didn't play very well in that third quarter, and then all of a sudden he played better in the fourth. So, and again, I'm not ripping on him. It was really weird because he was playing so well in the first quarter, and then all of a sudden.
Is that maybe starting to feel the pass rush coming, especially coming from the backside, where you got Turner the burner out there protecting your blind side. I don't know. Hopefully that is something you can gain more confidence in, and it's not a problem in a couple of weeks. But
he made Turner look good early in the game. There was one where he got beat instantly by Floyd, and then Rodgers like stuck inside and then still got a pass off, and I was like, whoa, okay. So basically Billy Turner did nothing on the play, didn't still impede the guy one bit, but he still didn't give up a sack, which was amazing. Nico knows what it is. Before the rest of you guys got in here, I said this to Browner. Here's why I think Rodgers did that in the third quarter and the offense, because they were trying to get another fourth quarter comeback for Rodgers. It didn't quite work because the Bears kept kicking field goals and like stubbing their toe like idiots. But, all these guys that say, oh, Rodgers has less fourth quarter comebacks than Andy Dalton and these other scrub terrible quarterbacks and blah, blah, blah. And the thing I wanted to say to Brown is I want somebody to tell me how many put-away drives in the fourth quarter Rodgers has orchestrated in games he's played. So where it's a one-score game and they get it to a 2-score game and basically put the game away in the fourth quarter. Because I think he has a lot of those. Because there's plenty of games where they're not trailing, but games in the fourth quarter where they're productive and they put the game away. Isn't that what you're thinking, Nico?
Fourth quarter comeback is a very overrated stat. It just means you're always losing after 3 quarters.
I agree.
When it's much better to be winning after 3 quarters than losing after 3 quarters.
Lee's with me on Lucas Patrick, unsung hero. I thought so too. Lukey's my man. Or Kenny Clark, he says. He gives Kenny Clark an honorable mention. Kenny Clark, I'll say in the first half, Kenny Clark was getting he started out good, and then he was getting blocked single blocks. He wasn't beating single blocks for a while, and then he cranked it up in the second half when they got a little more rotation going. So that goes back to what we said before. Keep Clark fresh, keep the rotation going, give me a little snack in there, and Kenny Clark will be better. If he's not, tired all the time, he'll play better. That's the truth. Bernard, are you still around? We want your unsung hero before we go. If not, it's going to be Ty Summers. Ty Summers. I know. Hey, you guys brought up something, though. One quick thing was that we'll talk about is Malik Taylor, the return guys. We still haven't found the return guys. The thing I like about Taylor, I don't care if he looks like he doesn't want to really return the ball very far. At least he's not going to fumble it. I just want guys that don't fumble it on returns. That's my biggest hope for the Packers return game this year and for the last couple of years. It's just dudes that don't fumble it, because I hate it when dudes fumble it on returns. Almost as much as a drop pass. I don't know what Austin was doing there, but whatever.
I think Austin could have a big play in the playoffs, though, because if he ever gets a crease, he could be gone. He can fly, and we haven't had that in a while. That was a big momentum change a little bit there early, and it kind of concerned me, but I'd give him another shot, because if he could change a game in the playoffs with a big return.
Yeah, I mean, you're always looking for that guy that's a big return guy. The Packers haven't had it for a very long time. They haven't had a dynamic return guy. But that's why I think when Irvin finally came in, we were like, hey, he's not going to take one to the house, but he is reliable, catches the ball, doesn't fumble, and usually gets a solid return out of almost anything. So we liked him. Well, he's not there. So now we got other dudes doing it. And we need, as long as Taylor doesn't fumble, I don't care. I'm good with it. If he just runs it up to the 20 or 25, fine, whatever. And on punt returns, just give me a guy. If he fair catches it every time, as long as he catches it, I don't care. As long as we get possession and keep possession. So I don't know what you guys think about that. What are your actual expectations for some of these guys that are returning punts and kicks. Nico, you got any expectations?
My expectations are very low since we haven't had anybody run it more than 10 yards barely in seasons now. But like you said, if you catch the ball and hold on to it, I'll be good. I'm with Browner. I'd give Austin another chance. It happens, and he's got some speed. But all I'm looking for is to catch the ball and hold on to it.
Bruce?
Yeah, well, I agree. I mean, I think the other thing I remember is, Tavon's been out for a while, so he's kind of getting used to things again. So, I mean, I know he's been in a few games here returning, but has he gotten hit a whole lot? No, not really. Not in many games because even on offense, he's only gotten a couple of plays a game maybe or something like that where he's gotten the ball. So in returns, he hasn't really had a lot of returns either. A lot of them he's fair caught and stuff like that. So I would say that he definitely does have the speed and the ability to break one. Hopefully it's a learning lesson where he holds the ball high and tight and, not out here because the guy didn't even hit the ball. He hit him in the stomach and it just popped out. So he just has to make sure he holds it high and tight.
Rick, while your team has had a bunch of fast, dynamic players over the years, maybe not good returners, but they're fast. What are your expectations when you see the Packers returners? Any thoughts? I mean, do you just hope they at least catch it and keep possession or what?
I think most of the time I'm with you. Protecting the ball is key. You don't want to create, you don't want to give the other team the momentum, right? I mean, that can be a huge swing of momentum, turning the ball over, especially deep in your own territory. But on the flip side, if you're in need of that catalyst, having a guy with speed, if he breaks one, even if it's a long return that doesn't go all the way for the score, that can swing the momentum way in your direction too. And I think if it's a close game, offense is struggling, big return could be what it takes to just get things moving your way, break it open. Even if they break the run for the score, that could be the deciding factor. So I hate fumbles on returns. These guys are professionals. That's what they do. Catch the ball. And, as you said, if you're concerned about getting hit, fair catch it, but just put that ball away. Don't cough it up. Don't give it the other team a chance to score by turning it over in the red zone. So can you have both?
It would be nice to have both, but the Packers are not the Washington Redskins. The Packers are not some inept offensive team. They're a good offensive team, very good offensive team. So just give me possession of the ball. That's all I want from the returners. I don't care. Ben,
Washington who?
I'm sorry, the Washington football team.
Washington. Edit the post to YouTube. Edit the post.
Washington Indigenous Peoples team.
Didn't know who you were talking about there.
I picked out a team with a crappy offense. I'm sorry. With another bust of a first-round quarterback. What?
You didn't mention a new record, an NFL record tonight.
What is it?
Fastest timeout due to a lost challenge in the history of the NFL.
Come on.
0 seconds into the game.
That was bullcrap.
That was
the right call. That was the right call, though.
That was a good challenge.
Yeah, that should have been at the 1 yard line.
He touched the ball before it went out.
The ball changed direction. So the ball, you see the ball, and then it changes direction. The only way it changes direction is because his hand hits it. And if you look at where his foot is when the ball changes direction, he's still in the field of play. I think it wasn't even on the ground yet. So how they didn't overturn that is like BS. That's what I'm saying. The Zebras kind of screwed the Pack in this one a little bit, but whatever.
That was a wild one.
That was crazy. I was like, is he really going to challenge it with no time off the clock? But I saw it and I was like, yes, do it. And he did it. And it was the right play. It was the right challenge.
It was the right challenge. It was a good call by LaFleur.
Your boy McCarthy must have been so jealous that he got rid of a timeout before the game started.
I didn't see it, but I heard that McCarthy chose not to challenge a play that could have helped him maybe win the game today. Like he didn't challenge some play that would have set the Giants back and then they made like a 50-some yard field goal because he chose not to challenge the play. And then they ended up losing. And it was like McCarthy was the worst at deciding when to challenge and when not to. He always made the wrong choice. Like obvious challenges, he would sit there and not challenge. And then the dumbest plays to challenge, he'd be like, that flag would be out before you even think about it. It's like, oh my God. I'm so glad to be done with that. But he did it again today. Poor Cowboys.
Well, 6 wins shouldn't really get you in the playoffs anyways.
8 wins did. The Bears are in, and they're 8-8.
Bears
So
are still in. Bears back into the playoffs. I'm not worried.
Washington
about that.
football team's not going to get 8.
You're going to have 2 out of the 7 teams in the NFC with 8 or less losses, or 8 or less wins. I mean,
And there's going to be a 10-win team in the AFC that doesn't make it, right?
I know. Yeah.
I think it might be the Dolphins, right? Or the Dolphins the odd one out?
It's
Dolphins are
somewhere
out right
between the
now.
Dolphins, Colts, and Titans, depending on. Well, I don't know who won. Did the Titans?
The
my
Colts,
dad said there was a wild end to the Titans game. Like my dad texted me, "Did you just see that? The end of the Titans-Texans game." So I don't know what happened.
Let me see.
I don't know. All I know is it came down between those 3 teams. One of them was going to get the AFC South, and then it all depended on the other one. Between the Dolphins and Titans and the Colts. Titans and Colts. One was getting the AFC South champion. The other one was going to be fighting for Dolphins for the last spot.
Titans
So either way,
41, Texans 38.
Oh, there you go.
Titans
So it's Colts and Dolphins, and the Dolphins lost. So I don't know if the Colts made it or what.
Let's
But
see.
well, I guess you should
Colts
know
won
that.
28-14 behind Johnny Taylor. And
I'm sure
I mean,
Rick can look it up and know.
The Browns and the Bills both made the playoffs, so I don't know if 2021's off to a wild start.
Well, the Bills are hot. The Chiefs might lose to the Bills if they keep playing like they're playing.
yeah,
Possible.
I would welcome it. That'd be kind of fun. That'd be fun seeing the Bills. Now I don't welcome Micah Hyde facing the Packers, but because then I'm torn. Because Micah Hyde's my guy.
Micah Hyde won't drop any interceptions. I'll tell you that.
I'll have to shoot him a text and tell him I hope you do well, but the Packers still win the Super Bowl, buddy.
So
My
do you
guy.
think
The Titans are the 4
seed
seed.
in the conversation since he's over 2,000 yards for MVP now or no?
Ooh, Henry?
Yeah, he's over 2,000 yards for the year.
No,
He better not. I
he
don't
got
think
stopped
so.
by the Packers run defense. He's out.
I don't think he's
when
going to get it. I'm just saying because
Yeah.
Rodgers has 47 touchdowns. It's not going to.
Yeah, 48.
Maybe history will repeat itself. It'll be a co-MVP with
No
with
more.
Rodgers and
Ground
Might
Henry
be.
instead of ground McNair.
Or-
I
No,
know it
it's-
doesn't pay to look too far ahead, but are there any matchups that any of you guys really don't want to see against Green Bay? Or I
Not
guess
in
who would be your
Lambeau.
least favorite?
Anybody who
What?
can run the ball, that would be the one I'd be afraid of.
As long as Drew
So-
Brees is quarterback of the Saints, I'm not as worried. If they're going to put Taysom Hill in the back and run him a lot, I'm more worried.
I know Tampa's changed, but they seem to be clicking again the last couple of weeks. I mean, is that one that might concern you?
Bring on Brady. I want Brady. I want Tampa to come.
But the Brady rules are even worse than the
It's true.
alleged favoritism that Green Bay gets.
It's
I mean,
true.
Green Bay, people complain about a possible fake offsides call when you can't see the line of scrimmage, whereas Tampa Bay gets a first down when they're 2 inches short and everyone can see it on national TV. So
The Lions weren't very happy about their roughing the passing call today
Oh,
against
that
your
was
Vikings.
terrible.
man.
I didn't
was
watch
worse
the
than-
game. I don't know.
It was worse than Clay Matthews, where as far as what he's supposed to do. I mean, he just tackled the quarterback. That's all he did. While the quarterback had the ball, he tackled him.
ridiculous. I don't know. I'm not that worried. I really am. I feel good about this team, and this has got to be the year. We've said it before. They got to do it. They're going to do it. It's been 10 years. Plus 2020 sucked so bad. The Packers want to make 2021 off to a good start for us, and they're going to do it by winning the damn Super Bowl. So let's do it. That's
I
it.
think when the offense is hot, they should be the clear favorite in the NFC. So
Be smart on this bye week. Don't come back with a bunch of guys on COVID. Sorry to be negative, but
No, it's true. That's
they should be negative.
They've been
yes, be negative.
they've been super good about that. Look at some of the other teams, and they've had
Yep.
some outbreaks. The Packers have been really good about it, and they need to stay diligent, and they need to just keep doing what they're doing. I mean, I still think when they're playing in Green Bay, they're going to have to do more of the things we talked about before this game, especially if the weather's bad, really bad, and utilize Dylan more, utilize the run more. Luckily, they got an extra week to figure out how they want that offensive line to look and how they're going to do it. And then just count on Rodgers to make some plays when they need him to, because he'll do it. He doesn't need a bunch of throws to get into a rhythm. He just needs to make the plays that he needs to make, and then they'll be fine. So I don't know. I'm not worried about any teams really. I mean, Tampa's are whatever. Tampa, I'm not worried. The one that kind of concerned me a little bit, but that was when they were going to pass more, was Washington with Chase Young and then also Sweat. And they got a good pass rush. But if they get in, I'm not really worried about them anymore either because you just run it at them and you're good to go.
Pretty likely chance they play Tampa Bay in round 2, right? I mean, you'd get the lowest seed still out there.
Yep.
And so it's probably going to be New Orleans and Seattle and Green Bay and Tampa Bay in round 2. Good chance of it anyways.
Brady might wear 4 gloves if he has to come to Green Bay. He wear 2 gloves on each hand. I hate quarterbacks that wear gloves in their throwing hand. Can't trust them.
Hopefully Green Bay comes out fired up, looking for some payback if that's the case. So maybe that's the matchup we want. Knock them out early and then.
I want to see Bruce Arians' face melt off like Tom Coughlin's did. I want to see his head, the top of it, scale back too and just become red and peel off. That guy's such an ass. There's no way you could like. I don't even think Tampa Bay fans even like Bruce Arians. They shouldn't if they do. He's a jerk. Anyway, I like our pretty coach. He's nice. He's got pretty hair and pretty eyebrows, like me.
All right.
All right, guys.
If you're doing
Packers win it. Number 1 seed. Nico, I knew I could throw you off. All right, take care, boys. Do one before you go. Packers.
Burn.
Goals, pack, goals.